guys, it's Kristen, and today we are talking about Netflix's latest holiday movie, The Christmas Chronicles. Just a heads up, there will be spoilers, so let's get into it. So the story is about two kids named Teddy and Kate, played by Judah Lewis and Darby Camp, who are really struggling after the death of their father. He died in the line of work saving people's lives as a firefighter. The siblings just don't get along anymore, and Teddy specifically has been getting into a lot of trouble, including stealing cars. And Christmas time is especially a difficult holiday for them because that was one that they really had a lot of memories with their dad. Their dad would always record home movies on his old camcorder, and while Kate's kind of reminiscing and looking through those tapes, she notices something a little strange. Convinced that it is a little glimpse of Santa, she ends up blackmailing her brother to try to get his help in catching Santa on camera. When Santa, played by Kurt Russell, shows up, the kids end up stowing away in his sleigh and inadvertently cause him to crash land in Chicago. Santa's sleigh is destroyed, they lose the reindeer, they lose the gift sack, and worst of all, they lose the hat that possesses all of Santa's powers. Now, Teddy and Kate have to help Santa save Christmas. If they don't, kids all over the world won't get their gifts, and things will turn B-A-D bad, like Dark Ages bad. So the story of the Christmas Chronicles is definitely wild. This is not your typical jolly old Saint Nick. There's police chases, there's an Elvis Jailhouse Rock performance by Santa himself, there's CGI elves, there's a portal to the North Pole through Santa's gift bag, and at one point the kids even end up getting kidnapped by gang members. There was like a lot of adventure and a lot of fun, but at the same time, it did feel like the movie was a little bit all over the place and trying to figure out what it wanted to do. I would have loved if they had gotten rid of some of those like extra scenes that were not really as necessary and focused more on the relationship between Teddy and Kate, because I think those were some of my favorite moments, kind of digging deeper into the story, into the heart and the depth of what this whole Christmas tale was really about. I think we got to see the arc of like their brother and sister dynamic really grow. They became way closer because of this crazy adventure that they went on together. We do see them tackle dealing with that pain of missing their dad, and we learn that their family comes from a long line of true believers, and it turns out that that doesn't necessarily mean believing in Santa or Christmas, but believing in yourself, which I thought was a really cool message. There was this really great moment where Santa opened Teddy's eyes to that and helped give him the confidence to believe in himself. Teddy was a little bit of a Scrooge at the beginning of this movie, but by the end, we get to see him become a true believer as well, and also get that one gift that he really, really wanted, which was a chance to tell his dad how proud he was of him. And I thought that was a really sweet moment. By the end of the film, we learned that Santa could have fixed all of this himself. He had his powers the whole time. He really didn't need Teddy and Kate's help, and instead, he was kind of not only taking them on this really fun Christmas adventure, but also teaching them some valuable lessons. I think he knew that taking them on this journey with him would get them more into the Christmas spirit, would give them a way to bond and connect and rekindle their relationship as brother and sister. And I think it wasn't even necessarily just about them, but about, you know, bringing Christmas spirit to everyone. For instance, the whole time that Santa was in jail, he could have easily used his magic to get out, although we didn't know it at the time. But instead, he decided to jailhouse rock it out with little Stephen and the Disciples of Soul and kind of reach those skeptics. And I think it was more about having fun, getting people in the holiday spirit, and letting people believe for themselves in Santa. And when they did, he just used his powers and got out of there. I thought the way that they did the magic there, and just in general, was really fun. He'd become like this red swirl and get out of different places, and you know, he was so agile to flip around different roofs and chimneys. He was kind of like the superhero of Santas. Although I will say that I did think that there were a couple of more questionable moments, especially when it came to the real meaning of the holiday. I thought the movie relied a little too heavily on presents and gifts being the thing to inspire holiday spirit instead of, you know, giving and being kind. I'll admit I didn't really like the elves. I didn't really think they were that cute. They also kind of seemed like a little bit vicious at some point, so this was an interesting kind of Christmas movie where like they did kind of toe the lines of good and bad at points. Even Santa and his elves, you know, where Santa steals a car and he's involved in a car chase and the elves almost kill Teddy with a chainsaw. Those moments I thought got a little bit crazy. And also I didn't really understand what the title The Christmas Chronicles had to do with the movie per se, unless it's a hint that we might get more sequels, which would add to the Chronicles. There were also some really fun cameos in this movie that got me very excited. We get to see Lamorne Morris from New Girl. He plays a cop who sees the flying reindeer and people think he's going crazy. That is until they realize that You know, Kurt Russell really is Santa. Lauren Collins from Degrassi, one of my favorite shows ever, is seen as a restaurant patron. Bella Lavelle from Shira and the Princesses of Power and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend appears as a hostess who definitely is a true believer. And even Kurt Russell's real-life wife, Goldie Hawn, makes a very fitting appearance as Mrs. Claus, so that was really cool. I've got to say, while I don't think this was a perfect film, it was definitely fun. I think this is definitely a film that the whole family can watch together and enjoy. It's probably the highest quality holiday movie that we've gotten from Netflix so far, with the rest like A Christmas Prince and The Princess Switch and The Holiday Calendar really leaning more into that Hallmark cheesy Christmas movie kind of vibe. This to me definitely felt like a movie that maybe could have been in theaters, and I really enjoyed like that depth that we got to see related to Teddy and Kate's characters, and I would have loved to see even more of that. Those heartwarming family moments. What do you guys think about the Christmas Chronicles? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Will you be adding this to your list of Christmas classics? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!